For the opportunity. Can Morara hear me? Can you hear me?
Personally, I can hear you loud and clear. Just proceed.
Okay. I'm speaking from the Diaspora. What I just woke up in the morning and I found some. Whenever I woke up in the morning, I usually check at Morara Street to see what he has said, and I'm his big fan. Morara, you're a product of a movement. So there are some things that I think I agree with you, whatever you say. In fact, whatever you say resonates with the people who are living in diaspora. Like, we know what you present, what real governance and what you really want to do. But now the challenge back at home, 80% cannot understand that. So you have to mix your package whatever you say. So, for example, I spent the whole night try to check everybody critiquing you to defend you over the Twitter, and I've done that for the last one month. But it reached a point where we get fatigued and tired when you keep on making the same mistake. Same mistake. For example, on Sunday, people are supposed to go to Uhuru Park. You have a very valid point why you can also have one in Narok, whatever. That's a good one. But how you communicate it, you get it off. And you make us fatigue the people who are defending you. You are not Morara right now. You are a movement. Movement includes me. When somebody speaks negative about you, he's speaking about me. And we get tired. That is. And you are pushing out to a point where we'll get more and more tired. We are the people sponsoring you, sending you money and whatever. So you have no time right now to speak what is in your mind. You have to do very due diligence. I know you want people you are very innocent. Maybe that's what I assume. You may want to be very innocent and a very good leader. But the people you are leading, they are not innocent and they are not good leaders. So right now you're under the microscope of the government, microscope of the opposition, you have taken their role, microscope of the big trips, people of the bloggers who have been on the top, all those kind of things. They are looking and they're camping at your space to make a decision. So I think you need to rethink about how you package your communication and know when to talk and when not to talk. Sometimes I feel like just getting that your Twitter away. You leave us to advise you and you let the movement to support you without you communicating. If you feel like, so you have to be very careful. Listen. At your age, there's a difference between at your age and somebody who is 50 years. When I was around 30 years, I used to be in charge of, I was in politics back in Kenya. But right now, a bit hedged. There's how I used to think, and today I usually think the way I used to think, and I see there's a very big difference. That time, I never saw the logic of why I should involve. Sometimes people have been very experienced. So I'll give you the last, a very small example. During the January 6th, you remember when Trump stormed the Capitol Hill? All his advisors and all his close senators and whatever, they were against it, but they chose to keep quiet. They would have spoken, but they chose to keep quiet. So there's a time you should need to know when to keep quiet and when to talk. And when you need to talk, make sure you are speaking on behalf of me who is sponsoring you. So as much as you have very good and valid ideas, mix them with what the public also wants. You have to blend it and you have to look for communication director. The other side, you said you want people to know who you are. People in Kenya, they have not that capacity to start discussing somebody who he is or whatever. They don't have that capacity to do that. Maybe those in diaspora. So please, you are dealing with the people in Kenya. So package your communication. Avoid giving the government bloggers fodder. So many fodder to criticize you. They are camping there like 1,000 of them. You make one tweet, they change the narrative of how people think and how things will move on. Sometimes you get praises from the same government bloggers. Sometimes you get criticism depending on how they want to shape how people they are going to think. So as one of your big supporters, and I think your communication has a very, very big challenge. So you can't stay a whole month without listening. That people telling you need to change how you communicate. And you still want the same people to continue following you. No, change how you communicate. Some of the guys in the whatever criticizing you, the big trips, some of them they are jealous. We know that, envious. We know that you may probably have called them secretly to come and talk with you, and they don't want whatever kind of things. Or we also saw these shenanigans of people coming up, revealing people's private conversations, which are not good. Those kind of things. But at least just learn about collect. Like right now, 99% of people, their heads are in Uhuru Park. Then you just wake up in the morning, you talk about Narok. It's better you could have gone even there silently. That is. And you leave us because it's not you, Morara, it is me. When you get hurt, his meals get hurt. I spend the whole night defending because here, when it's morning during Kenya, in America, it's at night. We spend the whole night when I'm working, tweeting more than 500 tweets, defending you in every place, everywhere. Then you come and start making some mistakes. So listen and let this be the last time you are disappointing us, your followers. Don't tweet something which you have been advised by 5 people. It's logical. Whatever you are saying is logical, makes a lot of sense, and I would support 100%. But better you go to Narok, you keep quiet. Or you stay at home, you don't tweet it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. And of course, personally, I'll say if we lose our fear, they lose their power. So hata hapo Uhuru Park, honestly, hata kama tutaletewa goons, hey, tuende tuanguke nao tu bana. Wacha tuende tuanguke nao tu. We were in the streets and we did whatever we did, and those guys feared us. So that's just my point. Hiyo ni point yangu tu. Anyway, let me hear from corruption hater. Jambo.
Jambo Kioti, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. My first of all, I've been a supporter of Morara, so I have every right to critique. I've been sending money, and we're his financiers. So I don't understand how he can listen to a group of 5 people and not listen to the grounds. Yet he says he reads the tweets. So number one, about the Uhuru Park concert, he attended one concert. We had one before. It was organized by Kina Boniface Mwangi, and I saw him there. Why didn't he have any issues with security then? Okay, even if he has issues with security now, situlichangia security. Where is the security team to protect him? Also, we'll all be there. I don't understand how his life is going to be in danger in an event whereby we are all shouting the same thing. We are all anti-government. It's not an ODM sponsored event. It's not a UDA sponsored event. Whoever is even financing Eric Omondi, if Morara was a team player, he would have actually DM'd Eric Omondi. Okay, I've seen on 20th you're doing this event. Who is sponsoring? Suonge Kikando, is it safe for me? Hizo vitu zote. Instead of just coming with division tactics, knowing very well it's going to cause chaos. It's becoming so hard to defend him from whatever government bloggers are saying. That is my take. He should listen to people. We are his financiers. Otherwise, kama anataka inaitwaje, if he listens to 5 people in his team, let them finance him. Anything he needs, financier na your team. Because at the end, if he doesn't listen to us and 5 team of advisors who we did not even pick to be advisors, to be his advisors, tunaenda wapi? He's acting like these politicians, with sham public participation, but he just goes ahead with his own ideas, which cannot make sense. And kama alikuwa anajua story ya security Uhuru Park, mbona asituambie si wote? And I don't think as like the government is there to infiltrate as like in a bad way or something. It's just a concert. Si maandamano vile anafikiria. We are not going to the streets to protest. I know we don't have the numbers right now to protest. Size story, remove Ruto and nini. But what if, as in like, he's saying as in like story numbers. What about the things like Shah, Schiff, and Ketrako? Can't we all go to the streets for one agenda? Vitu kama hizo, like the finance bill. Aite maandamano ya kitu kama hiyo. It doesn't have to be removing Ruto from power. Tuseme basi kitu like that shift must be dropped. Like the finance bill to be dropped. Because people are dying in hospitals and he's making this movement about him. It's becoming so tiresome because this is our movement. Morara, as in like, is just a mouthpiece for the people, as in like, we are sending him from social media, fika kwa ground. That is our contribution by sending him the funds. And if he can't listen to us, what's the point? Thank you.
Well, corruption hater. I don't have much to say about that. Let me just hear from Yvette. This ladies bana, sijui mnakuanga wapi tukienda kuinject kwa ground honestly. Nafahamu kwa mnatokea bana, tusitokee tu hapa kwa spaces. Hiyo nayo ni injection kwenu. Mkuje kwa ground whenever we are going somewhere to offer civic education. Saizi niko Bungoma, you would have been here. So tutokee. Yvette.
Utajuaje labda tuko na mimba? Anyway, that is a joke. I want to conquer with everything that corruption hater has said. Yani, she has just taken words out of my mouth.
I can't
because
hear Yvette. Is anybody hearing Yvette speaking?
I can hear her.
I'm
Okay, fine.
literally shouting.
Let's proceed.
Yeah, I'm saying that I second everything corruption hater said because she's literally taken words out of my mouth. I wanted to tell Morara that actually unaitwa state agent. That is the name that your new name. Umetoka from conman to state agent because you seem to be a distraction. Like every time there is something big coming up, you're also there. So you're dividing people. Kama unasema that you don't want to come to Uhuru Park because sasa huko Narok, who tells you that police wameisha? They will send a lot of them huko Narok mali unaenda. And another thing is you don't listen to people. You don't listen at all. Yani at all. Kama unasema ati, oh, you'll not go with the decision because it's a popular decision. You're actually talking like Ruto, by the way. Even though vile anafanya is implementing Adani, is implementing hizi vitu Adani is Chief and Ketrako. Yani hizi vitu zote is doing them. Na anasema even him is consoling himself that ni kwa sababu you will do it because it's right. You will not go with the popular decision. So stop sounding like these people and listen to us. Unasikia uwezi kuwa una decide vitu on the basis ya wewe peke. And another thing I wanted to remind Morara is to be a leader and to have followers, because I understand you want to go for presidency. If you want to go for such a thing, nasikia kwanza kukucheka mara kwanza kwa sababu your security will always be museme aje at risk almost all the time. Check out these leaders, mtu kama Bobby, let's take an example of Bobby Wine, or even let's come to Kenya, Raila. As much as I used to be supporter, Saini may shift because his beliefs, we are not reasoning on the same line anymore. Like vitu anafanya, I cannot follow him blindly. And that goes for you. We will not follow you blindly. Ikifika point, the way you've been tweeting, cause tweets zako are so irritating. Mtu anasoma and anakasirika sana. Hata ajui ya kutetea aje. Mtu anaangalia, juu kukutetea imekuwa ngumu. I wanted to say mtu kama Bobby Wine, even Raila. Why do people follow Raila like that blindly? Hata sahi, as much as Raila is doing bad things, do you know there are people who have still stuck with him? Because he has given this notion to people that he is always there. Angalia mandamanos za last year, the finance bill protests za last year, when people were doing mandamanos in Kamukunji and I don't know where. There's a time he was being trailed by the government. Hadi kuna time there was this person who wanted to shoot him. So you see, and that made him even gain more followers because people really believe in him. Sasa huwezi sema you will not appear because of your security. You can camouflage, like find a way of just showing up. Show up. Mali followers wako wanaenda. How can you say that you will not show up there? And as corruption hater said, ulichangiwa za security. So how are you saying you are not going to show up because of security? Your security is compromised or what? Sasa wewe unajaribu kusema like you will not be showing up kwa any public event. You want invitations. You're waiting for invitations. Utangoza sana if that is what you're waiting for. And for event kama ni Adikomondi organized, if you don't know, maybe, let me not say it confidently, but I think I'm still saying it confidently, that whoever is financing Recomondi, we all know because kuna mtu mwenye alikampenia and is a well-known billionaire. So he's probably the one funding it. So, but you should have, as corruption hater said, you should have DM'd the Recomondi to know how hizi vitu zote zitakuwa organized. Na wewe kuorganize kufagia, sijui hiyo kufagia ni kufagia nini. Kwanza ulikata jina ya fagia, you came with inject. Inject is so complicated, but since it's already the name that we've taken, we'll work with it. But if you're saying fagia, hiyo fagia can be done on another day. It doesn't have to be when people are going to mourn and remember our heroes for what they did and for fighting for our country. Well, unasema you are going to forget. That can wait. It can be done the next day. It can be done the next week. Yeah. And I think Narant Sana. Yeah. That is it. Thank you guys for listening. And Morara, please, skiza tu watu. You need to be a listening leader. Usikuwa unachukua decisions zako peke yako. Yeah. Bye. Mi naweza ongea mpaka ni mnikatie tu mic. I'm done. Yeah, I'm dropping. Mtu next anaweza chukua.
Kioti, Vineta amemaliza.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yvette, mimi sijakusikia lakini najua umeinject kidogo. So let me hear from Nyamari then I think AE.
Thank you, Keoti, and all of you guys. First of all, I don't want to sound like a pastor, but first of all, we need to give respect or honor to whom is due. Morara, thank you for the great job you have been doing. You stepped up to do what many of us hatungefanya. First, that's when nasema honor. We honor you, Morara. Another thing, when I saw your tweet in the morning that you're not be going to Uhuru Park, in one or the other Ilinibo, but digging deeper, just trying to dig deeper. One of your close confidants told me that this event you have not been invited. You have been trying to reach Eric Omondi, but in vain. Also, I was with you in Bomas. Wakati wa vita ilianza kurushwa tukaepa venye makarao walitubeba wakatuachia Southern Bypass, ukienda OC na mimi nikaenda kureplace simu. Morara, you are a good person, but first of all ni vizuri tu kusikia Kenya watu wako wanataka. Unajua ni kama mtu ameset duka anauza selling some stuffs and he has the customers they are requesting for some things to be done. It's good to put the priority of your customers, yes, your supporters being equal to the customers. So Morara, watu wengi walikuwa wanatamani to just see you going to Uhuru Park and teaming up with the likes of Eric Omondi. Another also, we all know that else that is divided cannot stand. Our clarion call is one. Ya kwamba huwa mashamba na igava yake imetuchosha. So it is my prayer that you can still recall that. Also mambo ya security, supporters wako wengi ndio watakuwa Uhuru Park. If the security is something that wants to be looked upon, I think there's a lady who spoke here and guys have been contributing mambo ya security. Also you can hype your security, you can camouflage at this Uhuru Park, so that because the desire of your supporters is just to see you there, guy Morara. As part of honoring our fallen comrades or soldiers, we can organize a concert in every county, yeah. But the clarion call is that a house that is divided, it cannot stand, because our clarion call ni moja. It's true. Narok is part of the sovereignty of Kenya, and you can do anything. Mashujaa Day, but our clarion call is that ingezekana we converge all of us at Uhuru Park, yeah, because kila mtu akona, everybody has his own supporters and followers. If we put all of them in one basket, our event will be successful in Uhuru Park. Yeah, that is it. And first of all, I also was doing a civic education sometimes back kwa matatu when kuna public participation bombers, and the guys, they are, after doing all story ya Dani, story ya Shah, story ya mambo ya agriculture bill, guys asked me, so what next? I boldly nikawambia, hey, look, the guy like Morara amejitokeza, ameform inject, guys, why can't you follow him? Personally, I've never met you, I've never dined with you, I've never had a cup of coffee with you, but boldly nikawambia, Morara, because I believe in you. So it's my clarion call that Morara, you can still recall and camouflage, guys, tupatane Uhuru Park, security, you can send some guys to go and spy the ground kabla ufike huko, but I know God is on our side. Enemies watakuwa ni wengi, matumbocrat watakuwa ni wengi, but at the end of the day, Mungu yuko. The way prophet Elijah walijitokeza kuspeak about the evil that were done by those kings of those days. God pia protect, and God will send you guys to hold you by your hand. Ni hayo tu kwa sasa, and you guys be blessed for the great job you are doing. Good night.
Okay. Thank you so much Nyamari. Wewe nimekusikia vizuri and I concur with you. Mimi kitu nataka kusema tu hapa guys ni tuache fear. Tupe fear mbali sana, because a revolution, honestly, if we go with fear, then we'll achieve less than what we expected. And so tuko na ile roho tu. Wale jamaa walipigwa marisasi hapo walikuwa na roho. Sisi sasa hatuenda kupigwa marisasi, but I feel like we need to have that courage, because if we lose our fear, they lose their power. And if you are going to have fear, those guys are going to be more powerful than us, and we don't expect that. Only watu wachache, less than 3,000 politicians in the country. We are over 50 million people. And so hiyo fear kidogo tuweke kando, tutokee mazee. Haya, acha nisikie Toria. Morara, kama unanisikia unaweza patia Biril co-host ansaidia kupandisha watu juu at times kuna wenye wananisumbua kupanda. So Toria.
Oh, yeah, shukran KUT for the opportunity. Mi sina mengi ya kusema. A lot has been said. Kwani ameenda? A lot imesemwa na mi kitu nataka kukuaji ni Morala, please listen to the people. A leader shows by the way. You should give a listening ear to the people. Don't make your own decision. Mi hiyo ndo kitu inaniuma sana. Like, and don't expect anyone, like everybody, to circulate ware kila saa wako hivi wamekuzunguka. That one can't work out. We support you in everything you do as long as ni kitu yenye tunaona it's against whatever, like iko in line na kitu yenye tunataka, against this government. We really support you, but just waking up and thinking that you can make the decisions on your own and expect people to turn up, no, haiwezi work hivyo. Tunahitaji numbers, we need unity, na distractions we need to stop them. Tunafasi wote tukuje pamoja. KOT, kina nani, kina Morara, kina sijui Boni, wote nyi wote. Kujeni si wote tukuje pamoja. Si wote we are yearning for a better Kenya. Na tushikane mkono. Si leo tunaenda hivi, kesho tushapanga tene, then all of a sudden unaamka. Tunaenda hivi. No, mambo ifanyangu hivyo. That's not good. Tell your advisors wanakuadvise vibaya and you're going to lose it, let me tell you. You're going to lose it if you follow their advice. Sina ubaya, I really appreciate what you do and I'm your supporter, lakini your advisors, they will make you lose it. Give people a listening ear. Learn to listen to people. Hata mwenye ako na follower mmoja, sikia tu sauti yake anasema nini. Maybe it can be the something yenye itafanya uachieve what you've been yearning for. Mi sina mengi. Tupatane Uhuru Park. Thanks.
Morara, umelala? I can't see Kioti. Morara, are you there? Can you hear me? You give me 100. Sorry, have you spoken?
Yeah, I'm done.
Who has not spoken? Morara, can you add as more speakers? Kioti amendapi, maybe somebody to help you. I can hold it as you're looking for Kioti. Morara, can you hear me? Sorry, ask Morara if he can hear me.
Morara, can you hear Biril?
Seems the space is dropping.
Inasema connection issues. Ebu check on your network, Morara. Nothing, siuongee kitambo angalie network, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. As usual, I always start any opportunity I get with saluting our fallen comrades, the injured, those who are missing, and Kenyans at large, because I know everyone is hurting in one way or another. The space
All right, sorry. We had just begun the first live space and we lost it. I don't know what happened. It suddenly went dark. This is actually to welcome all of you to this space. I know some of you have had to leave watching the Gachagua impeachment and the cross examination of Honorable Mwengi Motuse. For me, that process is not very important. And the reason it's not important to me is because it already has a predetermined decision. I can see that the National Assembly has already published, um, um, it has already published a special sitting for Friday. And I'm almost certain that that special sitting, it will be for approving the new deputy president that they've already, decided. Sorry, let me mute his mic. Thank you. So they've already decided on who the deputy president is going to be. I've even seen Itumbi write on his page, congratulations. So this is a flawed process. I have not found any value in following it so much. And that is why I decided that probably would be better off just holding our space and talking about things that concern us and things that that are important to us. Now, there is this issue about Mashujaa Day and how best we should honor our heroes or revive the dream that they were fighting for. Now, personally, I believe we may not be united, all of us, and it's not possible for us to be united, all of us, because everyone has their own thoughts, everybody has their own decisions. Some of us are together, some of us are not. Some of us are just wishing for a better country, others have been funded. So sometimes you don't even know who to join and who not to join and what to work with and what not to work with. But personally, I can speak for myself and I can also speak for our team that we wish for a better Kenya and we have good reason why we've said we want to go to Narok. So we've looked at the rest of the country and the current political climate, and we've realized that, well, we wouldn't be better placed doing something in Nairobi, and that is a decision we've made as a team. That does not mean that any event that will be done in Nairobi, we don't support it or it doesn't have our blessing. That may be further from the truth. We actually do support any effort that anybody makes towards better Kenya. We do support and we do agree. And if they needed any of our support, we would avail it. So we would like you to look at this issue very reasonably, beginning with the political climate, because now tomorrow we'll have a deputy president impeached. After the deputy president is impeached, the next day there will most likely be a hurried approval of the new deputy president. Then once we have the hurried approval of the new deputy president, then we have a Mashujaa Day coming up where the president will be in Kwale. Now, if the president will be in Kwale, that means he will have put enough security measures for him to ensure that he is comfortable in Kwale. So most likely, we will see heavy police presence in Nairobi because, again, some of the events that are planned to be held, they are just 700 meters from State House. And with the current political climate and with the president that we have right now, you should know that he's becoming dangerous every day because every day he's realizing that the people are not with him and that the people are not supporting him. And therefore, he has back against the wall, he's injured, and he's going to be very, very dangerous in the coming days. Now, I need you guys to know that we cannot liberate Kenya if we are dead. I know you really want to go to the streets, but the question is, are we going to the streets to fail again? Or are we going to the streets to succeed? And if we want to succeed, we must be strategic. One of the things that we must do is we must gather momentum. Currently, as it is, we don't have enough momentum to challenge a government. Most of the people in the villages, they are not with us in spirit and in thought. We've not mobilized them, we've not sensitized them, we've not done civic education to them. Yet rural Kenya, or the rural areas in Kenya, accounts for over 70% of the country. So you guys should know that 70% of the country is in the rural villages and not in the cities and towns. And therefore, we need to mobilize those people who are in the villages to civically educate them, to open their eyes. Yeah? Wale watu mliona wanasherekea sirisi ya MP after kesi ya corruption imeanguka. You need to reach those people with civic education. Those people who are those people of Mombasa who are celebrating when Joho was appointed a cabinet secretary, not remembering his track record when he was governor in Mombasa. You need to civically educate those people. Those people that were receiving Machakos governor from the airport direct home. You need to civically educate those people. So we need majority of the country with us, because in a country which is ethnically divided, I do believe that we need a very serious consensus, um, a very serious consensus around the country regarding the kind of change that we want and how we will achieve it. Now, you guys saw what happened in Nane Nane, and I was very passionate about Nane Nane, and I felt very heartbroken when it failed. Nane Nane failed because people failed to travel to the city. There were no, enough vehicles streaming into the city, or people evading, police roadblocks by going by foot and using motorbikes. We didn't have a stream of people swarming the city like bees. And the reason that did not happen, and you should know that all revolutions are based on numbers. And as long as you are few, the state is going to crush you. The reason we didn't have those numbers is because we did not do enough civic education. And I believe we need to do more. Not Morara needs to do more. I think we need again to differentiate between what Morara is doing and what you should be doing as a person. So I do believe that there is a lot that we need to do. Every single person who is on this space and who is following this conversation, there is a lot that you as an individual need to do in terms of civic education, because we should not engage in street protests or confrontation unless we have built enough momentum, we have numbers, and we are sure we are going to win. In fact, my standing point is that we should not lose any more lives unless we are losing them for victory. So unless it's victory, we should not lose any life, and nobody should be injured. Well, for anybody planning an event in the city for the day of, I've had Eric Omodis planning one in Uhuru Park. I need you to know, who is listening, that I do support that event. However, I will not be present myself. One of the things I learned from Bomas is, do not go to an event where you are neither the organizer nor have you been invited. It's like showing up impromptu at someone's wedding, or any public event. Now, for any Kenyan, you should go. Kwa Mkenya mwingine yeyote wa kawaida, you know that you're a Kenyan. We ni mtu tu, you just want change. You are not Morara, you should go. But if you are Morara, you should know that you are a marked person by government. You are marked by the opposition. You have enemies both in government and in the opposition, and sometimes even in civil society. So if you walk into an event which you don't know how it was planned, or who financed it, because finance is again another very important aspect. So you have not known who financed it, you've not known who planned it, you've not known what is going to happen at that event. You have no control of, even Gashagwa can, if he will be bitter with the impeachment, he can also mobilize his own people from Kayole or Embakasi through his MPs, Kina Gakuya, Kina this guy called Major Donk. They can mobilize their own supporters to come and join you at that event and turn that event as a demonstration by Gashagwa against the government. So again, you are meeting to honor fallen heroes, but here you are, you've been infiltrated, and suddenly it has become like a revenge mission against what we could call the deputy president, the president for the impeachment. So we need to be very careful. So for me, as Morara, it may not be safe, it may not be wise to go to that event. And for that reason, I will be going to Narok. And the reason I'm going to Narok is for a cleanup. This cleanup will be just cleaning the town, and cleaning the town will be symbolic of how we need to clean up Kenya. It will be symbolism. All right, we'll be doing the cleanup as symbolism of how we need to clean up Kenya. And again, let me also remind those people who are in Nairobi that the revolution needs everyone in the whole country, including the people who are in Narok. The revolution needs people who are outside Nairobi to support the people who are in Nairobi. So when I'm going down to Narok, I'm not going there for nothing. I'm going there mashinani to build consensus, to bring people into the city to also come and support you. So support me as I go to Narok. If you are able to join me because I'm going to give a breakdown of how we will travel and where we will meet and how we will do our cleanup. But if you're not able to join me in Narok, unaweza fagia kwako. So we are doing a hashtag called fagia kwako. Unaweza fagia kwenu. You can, clean your street. You can clean your estate. You can clean. And this cleaning is symbolism. Take a picture, take a video. All right. Or if you are also able to attend the Uhuru Park event, please don't feel that I made you not to go. Make sure that you make it there. Sawa sawa. Now that I've explained the basis upon which I've made, or my team and I made this decision, I would like now to listen to the rest of you speak about how we should honor the heroes that died fighting for a better country and fighting for good governance during the Gen Z protests, how you feel best we should revive their dream. Now, I accept criticism. I don't have a problem with criticism. It is the business of leadership. Hata ukinitusi, I'll not mute your mic. I'll just allow you to speak and finish so that everybody gets to speak their mind and also to release what is in them. So I've allowed anybody to now, just come and say what you like to say. Not many people have joined this space because most people are actually watching the impeachment motion against the deputy president, but the space is recorded. So anybody who finishes watching that can come back and watch this space and listen to what you guys had to say. So let's pick it up from there to the first person, Machiavelli.
Morara, najua uko fiti. Mi nilikuwa nasema aje, for the honoring of our heroes while reviving their dream, maze tungekutana Tao. Unajua Tao, tungekutana tu hapo Uhuru Park. Unajua Sakaja pia alikuwa ameamua kufunga hiyo Uhuru Park. Tukaamua tumpe pressure kiasi akaachana nayo. So mi nilikuwa nasema tu aje tungekutana Uhuru Park sisi wote. Na hiyo ingekuwa fit, tumobilize hadi hiyo usafi tunasema. Tupige tu usafi yetu, clean up hizo ma streets zote. Tupige clean up yetu safi tu. Hiyo tu ndio ilikuwa point yangu.
All right, thank you very much, Machiavelli. Your point is loud and clear. I appreciate that you say we should go to Uhuru Park. Let's give it to the next speaker to also say their mind. Kim001, Joroge Peter. Kim001 is not here. Can we talk to Gabriel Morara? Gabriel Morara.
Yeah, hello. I greet you all na wasalimia. So like mi nilikuwa nataka kujua hiyo 2050 hiyo Mashujaa Day tutakuwa wapi? Alafu by the pick up Morara Kebaso na hii injection yako. Lakini kitu ningeambia wasee wengi ni tuendelee na kuinject. Tuingie mashinani. Like kama mimi am currently at Embu, I'm a student. Lakini endelea kuinject. Hii kitu by the Morara pick up sana. Uliona kama waluke watu mashinani venye watu hawajui kitu. In fact, watu na huko ndo most watu kura ziko huko mingi sana, ni mingi. So like tuende huko mashinani, wale wamama wenye hawajui kitu tuwape like hiyo civil education, wajue what is going on. Juu sisi tuko ex huku tumechanuka, tunajua vitu, lakini what about wale mama mboga wenye wako huko chini kabisa, wenye hawajui kitu, hawa access sex, watajua nini inaendelea? Hawajui shifu hii sha, hawajui hizi vitu adani, hawajui kabisa. So ndio like Morara, what you are doing is a good, by that I support you, naendelea kufanya hivyo. Tuende mashinani kabisa, tufanye kila kitu, hiyo ndo at least even kama hatuta succeed hapa katikati kutoa huyu Ruto, lakini we make sure that between 2027 election atatoka na kura mingi sana. Alafu pia mayouth bana, ni hii kitu tusiachie mtu mmoja like it ni Morara Kebaso, tunaachia yeye peke yake, like to go on, let us do your civil education kabisa. Acha tuifanye like tukifanya like hii time kama hatu succeed until 2027 like itakuwa poa, tutakuwa na hizo bado hizo election pia. Like mimi as niko huku Embu naendelea na inject party, though Morara time ulikuja sikujua, mimi nakaanga huku hii stage hapa juu hii ali survive, though karibu na hiyo nyumba ya gavana yenye ulitembea huko, piga hapo, watu wamechanuka sana, watu wamejua Morara inject, watu wamechanuka sana, na hiyo ndo tunataka. Na kila youth ukipata opportunity like mimi huku nauza mayai smoke, nauzia ma studios pia ni studio, lakini ina interact na watu like 20 people per day, like 50 100. Hiyo ndo anthem, reject kila kitu, inject kila mahali unaenda, like ikae narrative, let us do this thing as one. Hata hii kitu eti tuende Uhuru Park
All right, thank
nini
you,
kumekuwa
Gabriel. Wind up.
sijamali kidogo, I give me like 1
Yeah,
minute
it's
please
okay. Just
Morara.
wind up, please. Because watu ni wengi pia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hii kitu eti sijui ni Uhuru Park nini eti tu confusion imekuja. By that let kila mtu afanye mahali atafikia. Juu sio kila mtu atafika Nairobi. In fact, kwenda mbele tutaiweka like kila county, kila mahali like ika huko. So mi sioni shida ukisema Narok pia like Nairobi. Juu hii kitu ni kila kitu. Ni kila mtu anafaa kuchangia, si eti Nairobi, sio watu wa Nairobi pekee tutatoa Ruto, hata watu huku mashinani. Kama mimi like ningepata like any support hivi tungehost huku mastude like we have pia I have na nimeplan like tukae na inject groups huku like civil education, but huku kuna mahalls like mashule ni mingi huku Embu, like to go inject mayouth wajue chenye inaendelea. Thanks Morara.
Much, Gabriel. We appreciate that. Kim 001, are you ready now? Kim 001, are you ready? All right, since he's not ready,
I hope I'm
Brian,
audible.
please take. Okay, you're ready now. Okay. Please, Kim Njoroge Peter, that's Kim 001. You can speak now.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now. Yes, you are audible now. Please proceed. All right, so we've lost him again. Brian Rui, please take it away.
Morara, thank you for giving me the mic. Mimi niko na shida kadhaa na wewe, na I want to agree with you, at the same time I want to disagree with you because of hii nini umekuja naye leo. Kila mtu alikuwa ameset mood yake ni sorry, ni Uhuru Park, yeah. Kila mtu alikuwa ameset mood ni kuenda kuhona our hero who lost their lives during maandamano. So kukuja na hii nini ya kufagia, it kinda inakaa tofauti na kitu yenye watu walikuwa wameset kwa their hearts na kwa their mind. Okay, kitu ingine ni kuhusu protest. Wewe unasema tungoje mpaka tupate momentum. Saa hii momentum iko tu juu, like kila mtu anangojea ni nini itawatrigger so that turudi kwa street. Kitu yenye mimi naweza sema kuhusu maandamano, Morara, wewe unasema tungoje momentum. Wakati tunangoja momentum, juzi tunaona Ketrako imeshachukua nini ya stima, Adani imechukua Ketrako. Tukiendelea kungoja momentum, Adani nimesikia iko ina finalize hiyo deal yao. In the next few days tutaona Sha na Shi ina go through. So tukiendelea kungoja momentum, hawa wangoji momentum, hawa wao ukiona kila kitu yao saa hii inaendelea kuwa successful. They wanted to impeach Gachagua. At the same time, wako na mtu wenye wanataka kureplace na Gachagua. Gachagua akitoka, wako na already, si atu wanaenda kudiscuss. This is something yenye huyu anatoka kama huyu ameingia. Sisi tukiendelea kusema tunangoja momentum, of which hatujui nyinyi kama leaders wetu, kwa sababu mimi na treat nyinyi wote kama leaders wetu. Mimi sikutegemea wewe peke yako, of which na kufollow sana. Kila kitu, hakuna tweet hata moja na miss, and I support you kila siku when unaitisha our contribution. Mimi ukuwa the first person, but kitu yenye mimi aiona you kama leader wetu, Erikomondi anafanya part yake venye wewe ulisema. Crazy Kena inject kivyake, wewe inject kivyako, Erikomondi inject kivyake. But kama nyinyi wenye mko on the top, on the front line, msipo tuunganisha sisi, mseme okay, sisi kama front learners like tushikane to decide on this thing. It is late. Tunaendelea sahi kuna vitu yenye ziko in order. Ruto anajua nikimalizana na maneno ya deputy president, hao watu wakiendelea kukaa hivi, sisi tunaendelea kufanya vitu yetu. Wanajua tukimalizana na Ketrako tunaingia Adani. The moment tumemalizana na Adani tunaingia kufanya She and Sha, na ikishaenda hivyo wanaenda maneno ya agriculture. Sisi tukiendelea kungoja ati momentum, hawa vitu yao inaenda through. I don't know kama hiyo ni plan yako, mimi sijui, but in a way today nimekuwa disappointed. Mimi nafanya night shift, nilikuwa nalala mchana, so when I wake up to that tweet, my heart ilikufa kabisa. Morara, mimi lazima tu niseme nimekuwa somehow disappointed, but sijekufa moyo. I know the movement is still on and I'm still waiting for you to make changes. Please, hiyo kusema fagia, it kinda ina hurt wase, kwa sababu wewe ungesema hata tunaenda kuhona our heroes in different country which is not Nairobi. Wewe unasema huwezi enda event yenye hujaalikwa, which I concur with you in that. Yeah, kitu ili happen Bomas, ili ni heartbreak pia. And ingekuwa mimi ni wewe pia ningekuwa na different thought about that. But kitu yenye mimi ningeweza sema, wewe ungetumia honoring our hero in different city or in different county. Hiyo ingekuwa somehow ingekuwa better. But kusema you're going to forgive, people are taking it in a different way. So I want to thank you kwa kuendelea kushikilia, kwa kuendelea kutuonyesha that aununuliwi. That one I support you 100%, but please next time wakati unafikiria kunini, at least go with the mood yenye watu wako naye. Kwa hiyo remarks yote, thank you so much, and niko hapa kusikia pia yenye watu watasema. Thank you, Morara.
All right, Brian. So I have a small question for you, Brian.
Okay.
Will you be at Uhuru Park?
Yeah, personally, I'll be at Uhuru Park. In fact, mimi ni
all right. I have a small question for you.
Okay.
Do you know who has funded Uhuru Park?
I don't know.
So you are just attending.
Okay, mimi naweza sema reason why I'm attending at Uhuru Park, it's mimi naenda because of those guys when you lost their life. That is what is taking me there. Na mimi sijasema kwa ubaya like wewe usiende. Kama ingekuwa mimi tungeenda kama wewe, obviously wewe ungeweza sema let me pass by. You know? You pass by then.
All right, I have another question for you, Brian.
Okay.
We have an impeachment motion ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Leo hakukuwa na maandamano, but uliona the number of police in town, eh?
Yeah, bro.
This impeachment motion, it has many aspects to it because it also has a tribal undertoning to it. Kuna venye watu wa Mount Kenya, those who are tribal or those who are tribally inclined, sisemi kila mtu, nasema wale ambao wanaamini kwamba Gachagua anapigwa juu ni mtu wao, they are feeling pain at this moment, isn't it?
It's true.
So if Gashagua's impeachment is happening and he will be impeached tomorrow on Thursday, and a new deputy president will be passed by parliament on Friday because they'll be in a hurry before Gachagua goes to court, what do you expect the mood of the country to be during the weekend?
Mimi kitu yenye mimi naweza fikiria, actually kila kitu sahi people wako na hasira na kila kitu, you know. Kuna watu wanakufa hospitali because of e change of NHIF to SHA and SHA. So me I think mood iko mixed up, you know. Kila kitu iko mixed up now. Sahi ukipatana na mtu tao umuulize what do you think? Hata umuulize tu wewe unafikiria nini? Kuna mwenye atakuongelea, mimi nasema Morara. Kuna mwingine atasema wanaongelea DP. Kuna mwingine ataongelea venye Adani inaenda. Like mood iko mixed up. So wakati if tuseme after they impeach Gachagua, kuna wenye wataenda hapo because of Ruto ameimpeach Gachagua. Kuna wenye wataenda hapo watasema Ruto anauza Adani, I mean airport. Kuna wenye wataenda hapo waseme mtu wetu amekufa because of this and this. Kuna wenye wataenda hapo kwa sababu wanataka haki yao kulingana na venye kila mtu ako na issue yake, sikatai. So I think pia in a way inaweza kuwa vizuri kwa sababu ile kitu tunangoja itrigger maandamano, it can be this one, because hata ukiona watu wa Mount Kenya pia wao they are waiting for this moment. Sisi we are waiting for it because sisi tukiendelea kujipanga au already wako na mpango. Na unajua kila kitu ni kujipanga. Tukiendelea kujipanga bila kukuwa na focus, au wako na focus ya penye wanaenda.
All right, Brian, let me ask you another question.
Okay.
During the Gen Z demonstrations, people are saying Ruto must go. Most of the people are saying Ruto must go, isn't it?
It's true.
And they were saying Ruto must go. Did they have a plan on who must come?
No.
Do you know that is very dangerous?
It's true. And I think pia mimi wakati Ruto must go, hiyo wakati ya demonstration, somehow nilikuwa na uoga, you know. Nilikuwa najiuliza nini ita happen next. But saizi since you came, sahi kitu yenye tunajua kitu inaweza happen ni nini, kwa sababu wewe uko, you know, you can give us direction. Mimi I believe you as my leader. I follow you. You know, so sahi na hiyo time ni different. Mimi naiona very different. Hata ile wakati walisema sasa don't march to State House, mimi sikuenda. I did not march kwa sababu nilikuwa najua anything can happen hiyo time. Mimi niliretreat. But now sahi tuko na enough reason ya kuenda, kwa sababu tunajua we have those people wenye they can take power. Kama sahi tuko na inject party, you know, tunaweza sema after maybe tuseme for example tuamue sahi tuende maandamano after impeachment. Hatutakuwa na deputy president mwenye ata take over after Uhuru amenini, I mean after Ruto ametoka. Tukisema Ruto must go, hatutakuwa na deputy mwenye ata take over. Tuseme Wetangula ndiye atakalia kiti for 60 days mpaka next maandamano, I mean mpaka next election. So kitu yenye mimi naweza sema sahi tuko na plan more than ile time ya Gen Z demonstration. Hello?
All right. I have another question for you, Brian, because the questions I'm asking you will help many people understand some of the things that we have not yet figured out.
Okay.
The other question that I would like to ask you, um, I'm hearing my echo. I don't know what's happening. Ngoja let me find out the problem. All right, so I'm here. Now, the other question I wanted to ask you is this. I do agree that the young population in Kenya have the momentum to go to the streets. I don't disagree. We have the momentum. However, I like the young people to know that we also need the Gen Xs and the millennials. And sometimes when you want to do something successfully, you must think it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
For example, do you have the numbers? Brian, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If today we met, let's say at Uhuru Park or in the CBD, just today or kesho tu, do you believe that mahali mambo imefika in Kenya, we have the momentum and the numbers to march to State House and successfully force the government to resign? Do you believe that we have that momentum?
For now, I can say hatuna. That is why nilikuwa hapo mbeleni nilikuwa nimeongelea nikasema you people wenye mko kwa frontline muungane, you give us direction, mweke momentum grow kabisa. Yani kila tuseme time fulani nyinyi muamue wenye mko frontline, because sai kuna watu wengi wenye tunawasikiza, tunasikia Komondi, tunasikia Boniface Mwangi, tunasikia Anifa, tuko na watu wengi wenye tunawasikia, and that is why mimi nilikuwa nasema kama nyinyi wenye mko mbele mungepanga. Yes, tukisema kesho for sure hatuna, kwa sababu hata mimi sijui watu wangapi watakuwa Uhuru Park. I don't want to lie about that, but mimi kitu naweza sema nyinyi mkisai, wewe ukisema, Anifa aseme, Erikomondi aseme, mtu mwingine aseme, kila mtu sasa atakuwa anaona at least the youth, the Gen X, the Gen Zs, the millennials at least wanaongea na voice moja. So tukiona kila mtu mwenye ako kwa frontline anaongea about the same thing, at least tutaona maandamano season 2 is back. Well,
all right, Brian, let me ask you another question, Brian.
Okay.
Do you believe that everybody who is in the front line wishes Kenya the best? Are you also worried that there could be people who are in the front line and they oppose the government to earn our trust because they have another motive? Do you trust everyone just because they oppose the government?
Of course, si kila mtu ana mean well, but mimi najua kitu moja. Tuseme, let's use example yako. Kama wewe sahi kweli uko kwa, tuseme unataka uko hapo kwa sababu yako kibinafsi, ama labda una support government but uko hapa kuchochea watu. Mimi naweza sema hiyo kuchochea watu ndio sisi tunataka, kwa sababu wewe unafikiria maybe una work for the government, but hiyo kutuchochea sisi tukishaingia street na tukatalie street, mambo yako hatutasikia tena. Sisi wakati utasema let's retreat, watu hawatakusikia tena mpaka ile kitu yenye ulikuwa unauza mbeleni imesikika.
All right, Brian, let me ask one last question.
Okay.
Now, this question needs me to give you a bit of an explanation so that you are able to answer that question.
Okay.
Now, on the Mashujaa Day, we will be having a bitter impeached deputy president,
Sure,
with some tribal people who still believe in tribalism behind him, and with some criminal elements with billions of money. Then we will be having a new deputy president who is trying to prove himself that he is worth the job. Then we have a president who has lost 90% of the support of the country. And then, with all that political climate and tension, the president is out of Nairobi. He is in Kwale attending to Mashujaa Day. You are holding a public event. You are saying it's for honoring heroes. That public event is 700 meters from State House. Do you think the government is full of stupid people to let you guys be there?
What I can say, that is why mimi nilikuwa nasema yeah, it is not yet. Sai ukisema tuende maandamano kesho, of course naweza sema bado hatujakuwa ready. Kwa sababu nyinyi wenye mko hapo mbele. Na that's why mimi narudia tena kusema haimaanishi nyinyi wenye mko front line. Haimaanishi you mean well for us. But as long as you speak the same language, sisi tutafuata na I don't mean siku ya I mean 20th haimaanishi hiyo ndio siku tunataka tuende maandamano. No. For that day mimi mwenyewe, let me speak for myself. 20th I will...
Wait, Brian. Brian, I'm not asking you to think like Brian. I'm asking you to think like the police. I'm asking you to think like government. Nasikuzi uoga. I'm not saying we should be afraid of them. But I'm also saying when we confront them, we should make sure we have the strength to defeat them. We should not lose any lives unless it's for victory. We should not lose any lives and lose. If we lose any lives or anybody is injured, it should be for victory. So now I want you to think like them. Don't think like you.
You know, sahi kila mtu mimi naweza sema sahi wanaangalia Uhuru Park. Na kitu moja yenye watu wamedecide kufanya ni kumarch there with only flag, na kuna wengine wamesema wataenda na candles, you know. But haimaanishi polisi watatuona kama watu wenye tujakuja. They will use force, yes, katai. But as long as tutamarch kama ile wakati ya maandamano ya Gen Z. Yes, we know tutasumbuana, but tutafanya nini? Tuwaogope turudi nyuma? Is that what you're trying to say? No.
All right, Brian, now let me tell you what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is this. Us marching to Uhuru Park or marching to State House with our flags is a big show of bravery. It's not that we are cowards. I'm not saying we should be cowards, but you see, even when you are brave, you don't walk into a hole. You become strategic. Whenever you want to slay a big dragon, you must be strategic. You must know how to attack. One of our weakest point right now, and why Nanenane failed, is because we haven't mobilized the rest of the country. We are taking this as a youth thing. We are taking this as a Gen Z thing. Instead of going back to the villages, doing civic education, and making these people understand why we even go to the streets, because there are people out there who see us as an inconvenience. They see us as the people who make them not to go to work. They see us as the people who make their businesses to close when they should open their business. They don't know that if they don't go to the street with us, they will lose their businesses or they will lose the jobs that they already have. And whatever, even I'm a biblical man, and I know some, young people in Kenya don't like the Bible because of how it has been misused by leaders. But for me, I'm proud of the God that has made me who I am. So I just want to use an example from the Bible. The Bible says, whoever shall decide to preserve their life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose his life for my sake shall gain it. Now, why don't we just become a little bit more strategic? Why do we want to use kifua mbele when we know we don't have numbers, when we are outnumbered and outgunned, when we know that most of the young people are already afraid of kidnap and death, and most of them have been kidnapped, some have been killed, wameuziwa uoga, na some of them wamenunua. And we have to be realistic about that. You and I hatuogopi. Hata mi Morara siogopi. In fact, me, I can match one army. Anybody who has gone to university with me in Kenyatta University knows that mimi naeza match to State House peke yangu. But now, sometimes there's bravery that comes with wisdom, where we plan something very well, we mobilize the numbers so that the whole country knows what we are fighting for. They understand the message. Remember, communication is the first place where we need to win this war. We need to win the war on communication. We need everybody on board by mind, body, and spirit, and they need to be understanding what we are fighting for. The other thing that made us fail during the Gen Z demonstrations
I
is
agree with you.
infiltration. We were infiltrated by people who had other agenda. Now, what prevents these same infiltrators from infiltrating us on this particular day when we want to run this event? Because from us, we are looking at it as an event of honoring fallen heroes. Very innocent. We are looking at it from an innocent point of view. Mbona mnatusumbua, yet sisi tunaenda kuhonor heroes wetu. Sisi to us. And you should remember that a fearful person is also a dangerous person. So if you are going to understand, if you are going to want those leaders, and that government. All right, I think we've lost him. Hear him. Can anybody hear him?
Hello?
Oh, so Brian is speaking.
Yeah.
Okay, let him speak. Sorry, I lost him.
We lost you on the way, but you can continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, Brian, we can hear you.
I think Morara is the one having the...
Sorry. I think I already finished. I can't even remember what I was saying. Just pick it up from there. What I was saying is... Can you hear me? Yes, Brian, I can hear you. I think Morara is the one having the... Sorry. I think I already finished. I can't even remember what I was saying. Just pick it up from there. What I was saying is... Can you hear me? Yes, Brian, I can hear you. I think Morara is the one having the... Sorry. I think I already finished. I can't even remember what I was saying. Just pick it up from there. What I was saying is... All right, guys. Sorry,
Another phone is
since
not
I had a
working
phone.
very well. So I'm back on this side as a speaker. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So what I was saying initially before I lost you is, do you think we should mobilize our numbers first, or do you think we should go for a confrontation direct?
Okay, me, I have one question for you, Morara. Me, swali yangu ni, when is the right time? Yeah. Then the strategy, you've said tunaogopa kuna wenye something will happen, polisi wataweza fanya kitu, but remember watu wanapoteza maisha yao hospitali because of NHIF and SHA. So my question is, when is the right time? When are you going to put the strategy in place so that sisi tuone, okay, it is time to go?
All right. So now this is our opinion, and this is something we discussed in the bottom for a long time, trying to find a solution on when is the right time to go for this. Personally, I believe we've not done enough in terms of civic education. For example, if you go to Laikipia, personally, I was in Laikipia over the weekend. You find that, people are being told to pay cash in the hospitals. They are being told to pay in advance for medical treatment. And NHIF is not covering for them and SHA is not working. Now, these same people, if you ask them today whether they are willing to demonstrate, they are 20, 80, 20% unwilling to go to the demonstration, meaning hawajaiva. It means either the pain has not yet hit them enough, or there is something lacking on the end of civic education. So we need to cook it right from the villages. Remember, majority of Kenya is made up of the rural areas. What is this that is preventing us who are on X? We keep holding space, we keep complaining about the government. Even when we had the Gen Z protests, I can almost assure you
that most of the people that turned up are TikTok people. The people on X were so loud, very loud in terms of turning up, but there were very, very few people that turned up. At least there are some notable faces that I saw there, like Hanifa, I saw Ali Nur and other people. But there are very many people who are very loud on X but never turned up. But the people on TikTok, they actually turned up. So again, there is another aspect to it where Kenyans are comfortable complaining, but they are not comfortable taking action. For example, why are we unable to understand that we've not marshaled our numbers? Or let me just ask you, Brian, have we marshaled our numbers? Simple, yes or no? Have we marshaled our numbers? Do we have numbers to storm State House?
For now, it's a no.
If we don't have our numbers, why should we engage?
Okay, for me, I can say the moment nyinyi mmeanza ku speak the same language, the moment mmeanza kuongea the same thing, like tuna focus na one thing, that is when people will start seeing it coming. Lakini before muanze kuiongelea, I think it is not yet.
Now, there is also another problem, Brian, that you're not seeing. Huh? In this movement, those leading voices that you're talking about, there are some that are unable to work with others because of their ego. All right? They feel like when they work with others, it belittles them. There are others who don't want to work with others because of who is financing them. Their financial will not allow them to work with others. Now, there are others who don't want to work with others because they have ambitions. And if they work with others, they'll not get those ambitions. Personally, I'm willing to work with everyone. Actually, I don't even have an overreaching political ambition that I can say can prevent me from working with anyone. The problem I have sometimes, and I'm willing to work with very many people. The problem I have with sometimes, and this is not with everyone, but with one or two people, is who finances them and where they get their resources from. For example, Morara, mimi naitwangwa conman, inajulikana kwamba mimi napewangwa pesa na Wakenya, napeananga namba ya M-Pesa. That's how I manage to have an office. That's how I manage to have computer. It's a known fact. But there are people who do great things that you've never known sometimes where they get their resources from. Some, spend their own personal resources, and that is very commendable of them. But some are actually financed from certain places. And you need to ask yourself, these people, when they are financed, what is the interest of their financiers? That is why sometimes I'm very cautious about who I want to work with or why I want to work with them, because I cannot rush into working with them when I don't know whether their mission is my mission. So there's also that factor. But I agree with you that we need to come together and work together, but it's not going to be easy because ndio binadamu wakae waelewane wote ati on one page kila mtu kitu moja. It's not easy. Because again, remember, there is somebody who is for the movement right now, but a few days from now, he will not be for the movement. Kuna mtu saa hii amesimama na sisi kidete anataka change, lakini akionwa kando na William Ruto apewe milioni 10 ama milioni 20, they skip very fast because they need money. So we also need to look at it from that angle, don't you think, Brian?
Yeah, and I think, let me just say this for the mwisho before I can give others to speak. Mi nataka nikuulize, like ile time wakati wewe ulishikwa, uliona ile impact yenye wewe peke yako unaweza lete. So kitu yenye mimi ninaweza sema, kama wewe Morara, ukitest waters, if you just call for maandamano, wewe ujiamini na you just decide to do it, sema ni time fulani we are going to the street, I'm sure. Like for example, let me use example ya Eric Omondi. Eric Omondi alisema yake tunataka tuende Uhuru Park na yake ni ya kuhona the heroes. Hiyo sikata na unaona kila mtu amefix mind yake, we are going there. So as for you Morara, wewe ukidecide, like hiyo hata hakuna mtu alikuwa amepanga, but sisi wenyewe on TikTok tulimobilize, kuna wenye walitusaidia hapa on X pia, na watu wengi sana walitana wakakuja kwa street hiyo time. So mimi naweza kukuambia wewe peke yako you can do this, alafu hao wengine watajoin. Haimaanishi like ni lazima utafute hao, you have a meeting so that muorganize venye itakuwa, no. Ni mmoja aseme so that hao wengine waseme. Juu mimi naona nyinyi wote mimi nawafuatilia na naangalia kila kitu yenye mnapost. nyinyi wenye mko frontline. Huyu anaogopa kukuwa wa kwanza kusema, huyu anaogopa kukuwa wa kwanza kusema. Ama wacha nisitumie kuwa mwoga kusema. Naweza sema kila mtu anangoja mwingine kusema. So for me I can say wewe Morara, kwa sababu watu wengi sana wanakuangalia wewe kama future leader. Kama wewe decide to do this, au wengine mimi niko sure. The moment ukisha set momentum hivi, au wengine they will just follow. That is all I can say. But for me, mimi nakuangalia and just decide to do it. And then utaona venye. Kila mtu anangoja. Anangoja, tuseme wewe unangoja mtu mwingine aseme. For example, ile wakati ya Gen Z movement. Kila mtu alikuwa anasema, okay, maandamano ni siku fulani, na ikatokea hivyo na kila mtu unapata the first day watu waliturn out kwa sababu kila mtu alikuwa amesha set mind yake like maandamano ni siku fulani na haiko inatokea ina nini kutoka kwa mtu mmoja. So the moment wewe umesha set au wengine sasa they will start to fix their mind wakijua. Na hata kama kuna wenye watakuja leo tukiangalia kama ya Bangladesh hawakuanza siku moja sasa wakuje in millions. Na hata ukiangalia Gen Z movement Eldoret hakukuwa na maandamano hata kidogo the first time, but the more tulikuwa tunaendelea the more tunaona other counties join, you know. Tukiendelea na civic education, the moment tumeanza hii kitu, hata tukianza na watu wachache tutaendelea kujoin, plus hizi vitu yenye natuuma kila siku, there are so many people die in the hospital na kila siku wanaendelea kutrigger ile kitu yenye natuumiza sisi. So the moment mtu sasa kama saa hii wewe uko na followers kubwa sana yenye ukisema hata kesho tuende street na utaona venye watu wataanza kumobilize TikTok, na utapata kesho unaweza pata watu wametana bila ile namba yenye hata wewe mwenyewe uko unafikiria, na as the days goes by utapata vitu mingi inaendelea kuongezeka. So thank you for that. That is my submission and you can take it from there.
Thank you so much, Brian. That was a conversation where Brian got to ask me some questions and I got to answer. Well, I know some of you agree, some of you disagree. We don't have to agree. We just have to have a same vision on what we want to do, then agree on how best we can do it. I don't claim that I have all the wisdom in the world, but I know that I have a clean heart and that I wish Kenya well, but I'm not all wise and all knowing. I can be wrong. And when I'm wrong, I'm ready to be corrected. Now we are going to give the mic to someone else so that someone else anaweza endelea. But now we will limit the conversations to maximum of 1 minute, at most 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. Just deliver your point in 2 minutes. Drop off. Let's give other people a chance to speak so that we have as many people to speak. At least my conversation with Brian has set the tone. So I don't hope for any other conversation to take that long where maybe we have back and forth of questioning. So I hope that this sets the tone. Now you get where the conversation is going. You're able to come and inject. Sawa sawa. So now, Liberation, it's your moment. 2 minutes. Mbio mbio tukisonga.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, my name is Patrice. I'm a big fan of yours. I've actually become a Morara sycophant. So I'm about to criticize you, but it's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of love. Okay. Okay, so lately I feel like you've been making it a bit hard to defend you, and I'm speaking as someone who has been defending you everywhere, right? On TikTok, mtu akiongea vibaya, I'm the first kumtusi, like we tumia akili. Even Miguna recently said something bad about you, nikamsomea, and he blocked me with my 36 followers. But lately, there are some things which you've been saying which are making it a bit hard to defend you, which is why I'm here telling you to your face and hoping that you will be able to change. Because whether you like it or not, when you join politics, you become a politician. and people you actually need to read the room and look at what people are saying about you and change it. So for instance, this thing about raising money, yeah, I agree with you 100% that in developed countries, there are people like Trump who actually get donations, but then they're not mentioning donations every single time. Okay, so I can see that you have a pinned post that is showing your number. I'm sure you have it also on TikTok. Maybe even in your car you can have the number. Acha hiyo itoshe, because every time you mention it, you are alienating some people. You're giving people ammunition. Right now, if there is a debate between Morara and William Ruto, what is the one thing William Ruto will use to attack you? Si atasema this person is just using people to make rich, to get rich. That is what Kasmuel is now using to defend himself. Anaambia watu, oh, I'm not asking people for money. Basically, he's implying that, unlike Morara, So you need to be reading the room. Unaona yenyewe hapa hivi nimezidi, acha nitulie, let me move with the crowd. Okay. You need the support of influential people. You might not like all of these people. I know that there are people who are paid, there are people who are jealous. Some people will even post negative stuff about you just for rage baiting. Just saying something outrageous and you apate engagements on Twitter. That's fine, but you also need to be approaching these people. You have to be approaching people like Faith Odhiambo, people like even this thing about the event at Uhuru Park. The day, sometimes I'm kicking myself, telling myself, who is this advising Morara? I wish I was in that team, because the day that you were attacked, I was thinking to myself, man, this is so unfortunate. But if this guy akiwa mjanja, he can turn this to his advantage na akue an enigma. As a leader, you have to be an enigma. You have to be a symbol of strength. The same way they attempted to assassinate Trump, akaonyesha strength. That is how you should have approached it. I was thinking maybe Morara would lay low, and then siku ya Uhuru Park anaweza maybe ongea na Eric Omondi, such that on the day of Uhuru Park he appears as a surprise guest, aonyeshe watu strength, watu wachia, they become enraged. Yeah, I was thinking that's probably the approach that I would have made if I was in your position, and that would have brought about an aura about you, because as a leader lazima ukuwe na that aura, ukuwe na that braveness. But instead you showed up looking a bit weak. Okay, you showed up in a press conference looking weak. Watu wakaona this guy is weak, and that's the reason why people did not show up the second time you were arrested. People do not want to show up to a weak leader. People want to be behind someone who has an aura of strength. Usionyeshe, never show people your weakness. Hata when people are criticizing you hapa, just if there's a pressing issue, you address it once and you move on. Stop giving people so much ammunition to strike you. And that's my main point. Okay, and number two, just because time ni kidogo. Number two, please go and think about that. Usionyesha people your weakness, and work hard to work with influential people, whether you like them or not. Now, my second point. This is for the Inject Party and the members of Parliament who will be voted in 2027 or wherever the elections are. I think these are suggestions which I've been having for a long time, of ways that we can stop corruption in this country. And there are just two things which I think that you really need to talk to the MPs from the Inject Party who go in to introduce these two things in Parliament. Number one is to incentivize the fight against corruption by giving people the monetary reward based on the amount that they've recovered. For example, kama mtu ameiba 5 billion from the government and a lawyer files a case and recovers that money, that lawyer gets maybe a percentage of that, let's say 1 billion or something like that. This way it will incentivize people to fight against corruption, na corruption itaisha. So kutakuwa na so many people fighting against corruption that corruption in the country will end. I'm not just speaking out of my behind. This thing is implemented in UK, in Australia, in India, in I think even the US. I'm not sure, but there are many developed countries which have this that Kenya does not have, which is why we have corruption and people are afraid to fight corruption. We need to incentivize the fight against corruption by giving people rewards for winning corrupt cases, not just giving them asylum or something. That's why we're not fighting corruption. The second thing, which I'm not entirely sure about, but it's something that you probably need to discuss and figure out the pros and cons. Kenya probably needs an electoral college. The fact that we only have two communities that's in Amua, and yet we have 47 communities in Kenya. We have people in Turkana who have nothing, au wanaangalia tu, and the votes are being determined on Tarakaniti ndo anaamua who becomes president. I think that's very unfair. We might need an electoral college so that everyone in the country has a say on who becomes president. Otherwise, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much. You went much beyond your minutes, but because you were saying something very important, I decided to just let it go. Thank you. I've taken the advice positively. I know sometimes you don't agree with some of the things that I do or how I do them. I'm also, even me, sometimes I'm surprised at some of the things that happen. Huh? Not everything will be okay, but as long as we are committed and ready to, be persons of integrity and to keep, fighting for what we believe in and being consistent also. Even those people who are saying Morara has been bought, he has been paid by the government. If they look at me and they find that I'm still consistent and that I'm still doing whatever I used to do, then hata hiyo story yao ya this person being a mole itaisha. All it takes is consistency. So I also need not to stop whatever I'm doing, to keep doing it so that consistency can continue inspiring people. Thank you very much. Now, Keoti Sonko is here. Keoti Sonko is going to be our co-host today. And he's going to help me in co-hosting. I'm going to drop some of you who have already spoken, then give this opportunity now to DK Gift. The DK Gift. All right, the DK Gift, it's your moment.
Hi, Morara. How are you?
Very well. How do you do?
Very fine, and good evening to everyone who's listening. Like you said, my name is DK Gift. I am a digital marketer and a content creator and communication strategist. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you and also to talk to every other Kenyan who's here. I do appreciate the opportunity. Maybe if you do allow me, Morara, I'd like to try my minutes in a small, slight different way, which is probably spend 2 minutes or maybe 1 minute by asking you some questions, maybe 2 or 3, and then I'll spend my last minute giving my thoughts. Would that be okay with you?
That's okay. I don't have a problem with that.
All right. So the first, and as I ask my questions, the first thing I'd like to say is, for me, I really do not care about a lot of propaganda that would be said by anybody when it comes to someone being bought, they're using your money, tarara. I think things like those remain to someone's own discretion. So everybody needs to figure out who you want to trust or who you don't want to trust. Now, the first question I wanted to ask you is, do you believe that leaders can come in 2 ways? A, those that put their voice to be a vessel of others that they believe they share the same conscience and the same principles and the same values, and B, bestowed by persons or by people where you're selected to represent or be their voice.
Sorry, I lost you because of internet somewhere on the way. Please repeat it briefly.
Okay. My question was, would you agree that leaders could come, or leaders can emerge, people that you could call leaders can emerge from either of 2 ways? A, be people who have been selected by persons to be their voice, to represent their voice and their principles, or B, persons who've actually placed their own voice to speak on things that they believe certain persons in the society, they share the same principles and values.
Yes, I believe leaders can come from either of those ways.
Okay. Would you agree with me if I said that me and many other Kenyans view you as a leader, mostly because of option B, which is you placed your voice in a space and in a place where you're speaking much that is in most of our minds. If I said it that way, would you agree with me?
Yes, I would agree with you.
Okay. Now, my reason for asking you those two questions is not a lot on me coming to debate on should we go to Narok, should we not go to Narok, should we be in Uhuru Park, should we not be in Uhuru Park. My purpose or my reason for asking that is because I believe anyone who is in a position of leadership, whether coming from either of the two options, must always remember that what they say, what they do, how they act, how they behave, whether they mean it or not, whether they tend to or not, is a communication to those that they actually do represent, whether they are aware of it in the moment that they are acting in so. And so, a lot of times, when you speak, you as a person who you're a leader, and when I say you're a leader, I don't just necessarily mean a leader to me, but a leader to also many who are speaking your same language. And please forgive me if you're here for 2 seconds. My little one crying for a second. I'm sorry, Mama. The reason I'm saying that is because when you speak, your words, your actions are stronger than you could ever believe. And I think it is one of the sentiments that went to every person who saw your tweet today, where it was not only about that you have supposedly divided people, but it is also because it has come somewhere in between in a moment in time when everybody believed and knows that they're walking in the same direction about what they've been talking about in the last 2-3 days in regards to Uhuru Park. Now, you who is a leader amongst these people who believe this, and please remember, I'm not disputing with you that there are young people, more of them. When you speak in that moment and say something that somehow, in some way, represents something indifferent in that moment as to what they have in their mind, even though you did have your good intention, because it is true, not every person is going to make it to Nairobi. There are those in Narok, there are those in Kisumu, there are those everywhere. But in that moment, it sends a certain kind of a message that someone takes a minute and asks themselves, okay, fine, you're making your point, not everybody is going to come, but there's a but that I don't even know what to say, because I myself, I don't even have an answer for the but after that. Why? Because for a second there, I just felt, for just a split of a second, as if you're talking two different languages. So for me, and I don't want to take too much time, I think, Morara, what I want to tell you straightforward is this. Sure, you have the right to speak your mind. Sure, you have the right to pick the kind of people you want to work with. But I'll tell you at the end of the day, in between this race, we are not going to stop at any point because we are not trusting each other. We will walk, we will have to walk together. And in between, time number one will drop those who are not faithful or trustworthy. Those who cannot be allowed by their financials, they will drop off. If we start off as 1 million people and 999,999 of them end up not honest, that one person is going to get to the end of the journey. And I think at some point, it's never going to be about only finding the right time to walk out. It's also going to be about just remembering that you and me, who is using our voices to be heard, we have to show unity of purpose. Thank you very much, Morara, for listening to us, and have a lovely night.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your words. This is also to let you know that I am not aware how the event was being organized on Uhuru Park. I also saw it on the media like you. Nobody invited me. So again, I would not have get crushed, although I was invited as the rest of the Kenyans, and therefore I should, also be able to go there as a Kenyan, or maybe to contact the organizers and ask them how they are organizing it. but save for that fact that I made my own independent opinion. Together with my team, we sat down long hours, we debated it, and we got to the decision that even if we were the organizers and even if we were put on the organizing team, we would not have seen it as a good idea. We disagreed with the idea of having such an event on such a day at such a place. And the reason we thought so is because we risk being infiltrated. And when we are infiltrated, our movement is turned into a weapon for someone else. We saw a risk of confrontation with government without numbers, where people are injured and yet they are not winning. For us, we just want to, if there is going to be any injury or loss of life, it's for victory. So we saw it as an unnecessary confrontation without numbers. Yani a battlefront where we are outgunned, outnumbered, yet we've not marshaled our numbers enough. Then again, the other way we looked at is that there is something very important that has yet to be done before we can get to that point of Uhuru Park. So much as the rest of the nation and most of my followers have been psyched up to go to Uhuru Park, I feel that I have a responsibility, just as you've said, as a leader, to not just give people a popular decision which they are happy with or which many of them agree with, but the right decision. And sometimes those right decisions are not popular. And this is something we've thought about, looked about the welfare of the people, the chances of success, how much we numbers we have, what we think can happen, what we think the other side might do, because sometimes when you do planning, you also think about the other side. And we looked about the situation where a deputy president has been the right, a winning battle, do it. But I believe Sunday will vindicate me. Based on the events of Sunday, I know I'll be vindicated in terms of how I had thought it through. So, but I am grateful to your advice. But I believe. Wait a minute. First, I want to say I'm grateful for the way you've packaged your message, because it's like it's coming from a communication expert. And I would like to request that if for any day you are available and you're willing to just help me out, I like you on team, even if it is just on our Telegram group or on WhatsApp group, to just be helping me, because sometimes I want to say the right thing, but probably I don't say it the right way, or I don't package it properly. So it comes off as a different message. So I really appreciate your skill, because I'm not everything in one person. I rely on the support of a professional. And if you would be willing, I'll also be willing to share some of my ideas with you in the future, so that you help me message those ideas so that they are not taken out of context or thought of in a different way other than the way that I intended them to be communicated. So, I hope DK Gift you'll accept my offer.
I will, and in the spirit of how you said we will keep this short, I will definitely do my best to keep this short. The first thing I'll say is this: I am very willing. I think there's a couple of people here who would attest that I am very willing to actually figure something out, because it's good. There's a statement he just said at the end of it, and it doesn't say anything wrong about you to admit it. That sometimes even I, who's a communication expert, there's a time where the thought in my mind and how I place it out to the people do not come exactly the same. And so I have to keep learning, to keep looking at a way where to make sure that my thoughts in my words are able to represent not just what I believe on my end, but also because I am continuously listening to the people I want to talk to, I am also placing myself in a position of representing them in the same space and bringing them in a place where I show them, okay, you're telling me this, I'm showing you this, and somewhere in between you're able to meet. The other thing I wanted to say is I think besides the fact that people would really love to see Morara there at Uhuru Park, for me, it's neither here nor there, because Morara, you and I are not in the same place. You have 162,000 followers. You've been so vocal out there. You literally have